What is brand equity? How do you build it? And why should you care? Stay tuned. In this video, we're going to talk about those three things. And by the end of the video, you will start to see brand equity where you didn't before, and you will understand that you are richer than you think. Hi, my name is Andrea Reindl. I own Legacy Creative, and for more than a decade, I have helped successful entrepreneurs create brands that are worth more money and create the lifestyle of freedom that they desire. Today, we are going to talk about one way you can do the same through creating brand equity. So, what exactly is brand equity? It's kind of a non-concrete question, isn't it? It could be defined in a few ways, like, for example, the financial assets of your brand. That seems fairly obvious, and of course it would be brand equity. You could also define it as the market positioning and differentiation of your brand, how you stand out from your competitors. This also could be defined as brand equity and is totally accurate. It also could be something more non-tangible, which is your customer's perception of you and your brand. This is the cumulative experiences and associations and emotions people associate with you and your brand. This third definition is the one I'm going to talk about today. It's also my favorite. This is the non-tangible, oh so valuable part of your brand. Now, you might be thinking something like, meh, Andrea, this doesn't really apply to me. I don't have any of that. Well, let me tell you, if you own a business, it does apply to you, and you do have a brand and you have brand equity. Just like retirement plans, you do have one. The question is, are you being intentional about it, or are you just going with the flow and seeing what happens? If you have customers, they have an experience of you and an emotional connection with you and your brand. And just like retirement plans, it's probably better if you spend a bit of time thinking about it, planning for it, and then every month make small incremental steps towards the future you desire with you and your customers. No one wants to be past the age of wanting to work and having to because they didn't plan well. Your brand equity is like compounding interest. Invest now and see giant leaps and bounds and results later. For the last several years, there has been plenty of buzz about personal brands. So for a moment, I'm going to mention that also. I think personal brands are something just like business brands that you have whether you recognize it or not. Every one of us has a personal brand, like the grandma that makes the best bread, and it's amazing. The aunt who always shows up late, the sister who's always on time, the friend that always ducks out early from the party, and the one you can go to no matter what. People have a personal brand, and that brand is how they make people feel and what you can depend on them for. Maya Angelou said it best. I've learned that people will forget what you say, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. That quote is the essence of a personal brand. So, regardless of what kind of business you own, I think you should be thinking of your personal brand and the way you want to make people feel. The reputation you have matters. As for your business brand, well, again, it's basically the same. It's the way you make your customers feel. If you're the owner of a company, my personal opinion is you're the shepherd of two brands, your personal brand and your business brand. If you're a coach, author, speaker, or consultant, very often the two go hand in hand and are basically the same. Knowing how the personal brand and the business brand meet and how to build the two at the same time is a conversation for another day. That's where brand strategy comes in. Obviously, there's an efficient way to maximize efforts and still create lines where needed. For the rest of this video though, the principles we're going to talk about and I'm going to share apply to either or both kinds of brands. Some of the long-term benefits of investing in your brand, which creates the non-tangible equity over time, include things like lucrative partnerships with aligned collaborators, referrals from your existing relationships, clients, and friends, attracting the right kind of staff and supporters for your business. This is a huge one. I know so many people who invested in their brand equity with intention and are able to retain team members from company to company because they invested in their brand equity. Another fun one is friendships that you didn't expect that often lead to adventures that you get invited to because there's alignment and people know you and they know your brands and they just know that your values match up. These are just a few of my favorite examples of the benefits that come from investing in your brand equity. Of course, the list is pretty endless, but these are a few of my favorites. Now, let's talk about some of the specific activities that you can do to be clear about your brand and start investing in equity today that you'll be able to realize both now and in the future. First, define what you want your brand to be. Get as clear as you possibly can with what you know today about how you want to make people feel and what you want to be known for, both personally and for your business. One of the ways we do this with our clients is to have them start noticing other brands around them and what they both love and dislike about those brands. I tell my clients first to notice, and then to write it down, and then after they've written down, to think specifically about what was great, what was clunky, what was a total drag about the interaction, and what they can do to emulate the parts of that brand experience that they love. When you as a brand strategist or a visionary can name the experience or a feeling, you can be intentional about creating the brand that you want. Remember, you already have a brand, it's just, are you directing it or is it more willy-nilly? So after you've noticed and written down what you love and don't love about brand experience, the next thing you are going to do is design the brand experience that you want, the one that you desire, that you'll be proud of. This includes activities like defining your business model, clarifying your avatar, refining your value proposition, being clear about your messaging strategy and how you communicate over and over and over again. You also want to be clear about the value you bring to your customers and your staff. This is where your vibe attracts your tribe because you've designed it that way. It's amazing what happens when you are hyper-focused and intentional about designing your brand. It begins to build equity. Results just start showing up, as though you designed it that way. It's like when you plant an apple seed and you expect an apple tree and eventually apples that you could make into juice and pie. Well, designing a brand is basically the same. Create the right environment, water it, give it some sunshine, and eventually the fruit grows. Now, once you've done this with intention and perhaps some counsel from a brand strategist who really gets you and knows how to create these experiences over and over again, you will find these magical moments just start to happen. And often, boom, you're suddenly able to speak to the graphic designer, the video editor, the photographer, or the copywriter with a new kind of clarity. Or the ideal partner for your brand reaches out to you and wants to do business with you. Or one of your existing customers rings you up and says, hey, would you be interested in a few extra clients? I might know some people that are a good fit for you. Once you are clear about the experience you want to create, opportunity starts showing up. And all of a sudden, that non-tangible experience shows up as opportunity, revenue, and great experiences. The non-tangible feeling you want to convey starts to show up in tangible ways. So here are a few more fun, tangible ways that branding pays off. You might have a cool name for your business if you don't already. You will know how to name your product or your services that are in alignment with the value you provide. You will know how to price your products and services. This is such a huge one for so many people. You will know what title to give you, the owner, your staff, and what titles represent your brand. You'll also know what styles of images to use on your website and your packaging, and you will be damn proud of the work you put into the world. So now that you've defined it and designed it and you're starting to see some cool results, what's the next step? Well, since we like action around here, we like to make it real. One of the questions we're always asking at my company is, how do we make it more valuable for you, our customers? So here's our pro tip for what happens after you start to see results. You start to document all of the strategic thinking and hard work that you've done. Put it into one usable guide, one book that can be helped to amplify your business, help it grow and scale. Big successful businesses have this. They call them brand guides or brand Bibles, or what we call them is a brand blueprint. If you're on our email list, we talk about and share detail about brand guides all the time. So if you aren't already on our email list, click the link in the description below and sign up for Brandable Bites so that from now on you will be in the loop when we share those kinds of examples. And for today, I'll share an example from our own Legacy Creative brand blueprint. Here are a few pages that include where we've documented and outlined our ideal client, the words we use to attract them, the messaging strategy we refer to when we're talking to our prospects and our clients, and one of the most important parts of our business, and any business if you ask me, brand values. It's kind of like a business plan for how you want to make people feel and how you want to be remembered. It adds equity to your company, it makes it easier to scale, and this book or blueprint helps you be consistent and helps keep your message clear, and for crying out loud, not to confuse your prospects or future clients. It's a great add-on to a business plan, and if you plan on selling or scaling your business, it's a great guide and tool to help pass on wisdom, which is what books often are, a great way to pass on wisdom. This is just one way to pass on your brand and the way you want to make people feel. Think of this capital investment as passing on your vision to the current and next generation of your business, and maybe even your family. If it's a personal brand that you're working on, it's very much probably passing wisdom on to your family and your future generations. Think about Zig Ziglar. He's one of my favorite motivational speakers of all time. His children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren have so many examples of what he valued and what he wanted them to know, and hopefully they take to heart some of his advice and incorporate it into their lives for generations to come. So, to recap what we just covered, non-tangible brand equity is all about how you make people feel and the perception your customers have of you. To start building it intentionally, what you need to do is define it, design it, and document it. Hey, if you're new here and found this valuable, please subscribe and be sure to hit the bell to be notified when our next video goes live. If you aren't already on our email list, there's a link below to stay in touch with us both on our email list and in other places like Instagram, LinkedIn, and all those other platforms. We are on a mission to help visionaries and creative teams build memorable customer experiences and transformational brands that make a difference. If you want to be part of this tribe, this channel is for you. I hope you found this helpful. Until next time, I'm Andrea. Make it a fabulous day.